How we doing out there, everybody? Mr. Volpe here, ready for our week 7 with another bi-weekly video. So, as of you all seeing this video, you should have completed and turned in your argumentative persuasive essay. And just a reminder, essays, homework are only accepted if you turn them in on time and in the correct place in Blackboard. Okay. Again, it's just too chaotic to go sifting through emails. Too many students to keep track of, so it's important we do things on time and submit things to the right place. Some of you got in touch with me about your topics, and I signed off on them or asked you for a little more clarification. So that essay that you guys just turned in a couple weeks, what you're going to be doing is incorporating research information into that essay for a research enhanced version of your argumentative persuasive essay. Okay, so whatever your topic was, it needs to be something that you're going to be able to use again with research data, studies, things of that nature. And the place you go to find that information is a place called Galileo. That's the Georgia University System's online repository of critical scholarly articles, studies written by experts and vetted, peer-reviewed by other experts in the particular field. Okay, so this week is going to be an easy week because all you have is a journal to do, due by Friday. Okay, journals, blogs, discussions, all due by Friday. And the journal just asks you to kind of think about the state of argumentation today, how we argue with each other, how we try to persuade each other to take or at least consider our side of a position. Is that skill being lost? Is it something different than what it should be? If you ask me, argumentation today is kind of a lost art or a bastardized art, mostly, in my humble opinion, because of social media. I think social media is just really terrible for communication in terms of argument. And when we say argument, we tend to think of that word as meaning yelling at each other. Okay, but really an argument in classical terms is rhetorical conversation, trying to understand each other, trying to convince each other, sure, but not trying to shout the other person down or engage in cheap, petty put-downs of the other side, the other person especially. You should always be engaging the argument versus the person espousing the argument. So that journal for this week just asks you to kind of, meditate and respond, meditate on that, respond to that. Okay. So that's all you have to do this week is that journal exercise. I'll be getting back, now that I've finished your descriptive papers, I'll be getting to some backlogged classwork homework things back to you. So being that you only have that one pretty small assignment to do, it's probably a good idea to look in the SCC, the textbook, Successful College Composition, and look at Chapter 4, which is entitled Research. Okay, if you guys have never written a research paper before especially, it's probably a good idea to look through that chapter. It walks you through how to, evaluate information, how to cite your source, things of that nature. Okay, so look in SCC Chapter 4. Also, it's probably a good idea to look for some research information, some articles, scholarly articles in Galileo that speak to your particular topic. Okay, because at the end of next week, you will have to produce that research essay. So this week, I would recommend actually doing some preliminary research. That way, next week, you're not burdened with having to do all of your research and, your paper. And your paper can really just be an enhanced version of your argumentative essay that you've already turned in. You'll look at your paper and you'll try to think of, okay, where could I incorporate a word, a phrase, a sentence by this expert's article that I found in Galileo. Ooh, maybe right here in my second body paragraph where I make this point, I could provide support to my point by incorporating this expert's findings. Okay, so it's highly recommended that you look through SCC Chapter 4 and do some preliminary research in Galileo. If you're wondering how to navigate to Galileo, there's on your Blackboard page, there should be, you'll see a ribbon at the top, GNTC Library Services, and then you'll see Galileo, Georgia Library Learning Online. That's Galileo, okay? So internet research is not allowed. Like, don't just do a Google search. You know, if your essay is on criminal justice reform or something, your source, you need critical scholarly sources from Galileo. Okay, I think I have it at 3 to 4 sources. Okay, more specifics on that next week with next week's announcement. But you know, if you've satisfied that minimum source count from Galileo, you could use additional source information from a basic Google search. But when I'm looking at your sources in your Works Cited page for that research essay, I'm going to be looking, do you have the Galileo tag in your Works Cited citation? Okay. And we'll go over all that next week. So at the risk of repeating myself again, I think I'm just going to end it there. Quick reminder, journal on argumentation due by Friday. That's what you must do, and what is highly recommended is that you look through SCC Chapter 4 and start doing some preliminary research for your argumentative topic, for your research-enhanced version of your argumentative essay, which will be due in 2 weeks. All right. Well, I'm going to cut it there. Hope everyone is doing well. And check you again in a couple weeks. Peace.